Hey, Father Miller here. Welcome back to the Nerd Father. Happy to have Father times with us as we go a little bit early today. Friday afternoon stretch. Variety of reasons why I had to go a little bit earlier and have to end early too is I have an obligation at 4, and our high school is playing in the semifinals tonight. So if we win, we go to state.
Excellent. Well, hello there, Father.
Yeah. So
Good to see you.
what's new?
Oh man, we're just geeking around out here, having fun on a Friday. Who else? That's what we're doing. We're geeking on a Friday, and that's what it's for, isn't it? So looking forward to all the fun shows tonight and everything. And I'm glad to be here. It's been a while, Father. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it has. But I wasn't able to do it last week because we had a meeting we had to go to, and I think it's probably been 2 weeks. I was actually going to go home next week and not stream, but as was mentioning to you beforehand, I might be in quarantine right now because Kushner took us out for dinner, and there was about 7 of us. The guy I sat next to for about 2 hours just came down with the coof.
Oh man.
Now, I'm vaccinated, so I'm not worried, but the thing is, my parents are in their 70s, so I don't want to go home and spread it.
No, I understand. Good luck with that. Are you going to test, or are you just going to?
I don't know. The thing is, they say it's supposed to take a few days for symptoms if you have it show up.
Well, I had it last year, so
You did?
so yes, back in December. So I'm all antibodied up. Everyone's different, as I'm sure you've heard. Some people have different symptoms, and it took me. It was kind of weird. I started feeling cruddy like a day or two after the event that I supposedly, in quotations, got it from. And I get a call from I think it was my dad telling me that my nephews who were at the same thing, it was a football game, at a person's house. They said that they had gotten it and they'd had to go, and they went and got shots and all this kind of, stuff. And they wouldn't. This is like the end of December, a couple weeks before Christmas, and they said that they from what they told me, they had it way worse than me. I just kind of felt kind of bad for a couple of days. Then my son, who I live with, he got it, and he had symptoms I never had. He had I don't know if he got it from me or what, if I'd had it, because you never know. They even tell you on these tests, it may not be accurate. You may not have it, but we think you do, that sort of thing. So anyway, I don't know, but he had, what's that one where you lose your sense of taste or whatever?
Yeah.
He had that.
No.
I didn't have that. I was by the time I found out I quote unquote had it, I was fine. I said minor, kind of just felt a little off, because I'm old and overweight. I get worse than that, plenty of times where I chalk it up to just, maybe eating something I shouldn't or doing something, just being tired, whatever. So it's not for me, but that's everyone's different.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
Yeah, so far all's well. I just had a cough for a while, but I don't think it's anything related to that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I got the shots, and yeah, I'm not going to live in fear on it.
No, good luck with it. And like I say, hopefully it'll be, if anything, won't be much, and you will be fine.
Oh yeah. So I got a show. I got to go to the comic store, so I did wear a mask today, just again to be safe. But I did get a few comics. Cool. I don't know if you've seen this one.
I have not. I haven't seen any new stuff lately.
That's right. You don't get new comics. That's right.
Stopped about 10 years ago. But with the rare except once in a while I'll go grab something. Like there's actually a comic I want coming out soon that I'm excited about, and there's one out this week that I almost want. But other than that, no.
Maze Book is another one that just came out from Dark Horse.
What is that called? Is there a title on there?
Yeah, Maze Book.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the title on there.
I gotta say, this one I was really disappointed. I'm sad I got the second one because I thought I canceled my subscription to it.
Oh, okay. Of course, they order
Batman
so much.
The Imposter.
They order in advance, so.
Yeah.
But however, you should be able to take it off your folder if if you want there.
Well, the thing is, it was ordered ahead of time, so once it's ordered, it's hard to cancel it. If the catalog has come out.
Oh, I got you. Look, Percent says my mom loses her smell twice a year because of how bad her allergies can be that too. That's the thing. We all have the allergy things down here, of course. it gets really bad. This is a really nicer time of the year for us because we don't get anything like cold weather like you all do up where you are, I do believe, but a little bit here and there. One day it's cold. They have that saying down here. I don't know if you've heard it. If you don't like the weather in southern Louisiana, just wait a minute.
Same thing everywhere. Well, we had snow. We had snow last week.
See, we've had snow. Like I'm almost 60 years old. I've had it like 3 times in my life down here, maybe 3 or 4 times. So yeah, but if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute. That's all there is down here, is because it's going to change. It could be in the 30s one day, and I mean in December even, right? January, and the next day it could be up in the 70s and 80s. It's crazy. Anyway, so you pick up any other new comics?
No, well, I mean, I did about 3 weeks ago. I did take part in that comic sale, so I actually behaved myself. I put it on Twitter. I had about 20 Superman, Action Comics and Superman, and maybe 2 Batmans. I got a short box and about 100 bags and boards for, I think it was 112.
Nice. A buddy of mine went to a con up in Canada this past week, and he dropped some serious coin on some back issues. I'm like, oh my goodness, dude. Expensive stuff too, though.
Do they actually have a lot of good selection at cons? I've never been to one.
They do, but the thing is, they're going to be pricey, Father. In other words, you're going to have the tables with the really rich, expensive stuff behind the counter. Some of them are slabbed, that sort of thing. And usually comic dealers at cons do that, but they'll also if they're a big dealer, they'll bring a lot of good, reasonably priced cheap stuff as well. But yes, they unless it's something, if you're a collector and it's something you really have to have, then sometimes it is good to go to a con because you can haggle if you wait till Sunday, the last day. But for the most part, yeah, the prices, I don't know. Sometimes comic shops are bad about their prices too. So, but if you wait to Sunday at a con, that's sometimes a good way. I'm talking, if you want a back issue that's really up there in the price.
Oh, let's see. Snorter Poopus with the comment that he received the rabbi's book, Biblical, The Holy and the Dead. I'm supposed to get my copy in soon.
Oh, nice.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Right,
we moved our stream. We moved our stream to Mondays because with Friday and the time change and the rabbi with the Sabbath.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got you. Good old rabbi. Well, that's great. Snorter Poopus. What's up, buddy? That's cool. I don't know much about his comic, but I've seen how you guys stream on there before.
Mm-hmm.
I like Rabbi. He's a cool dude. Nice guy.
But the link is in the chat for anybody that wants to join. Just make sure you got headphones on. I don't know. Like I said, might go a little bit today just because there's so much going on right now. As I was telling Clobbering before we went live, I'm having some computer problems on the computer I usually stream from. So this is why I'm on this view instead of looking at my Shatner picture and all that.
Yeah, this guy, this friend I was telling you about, I think he spent like $200 something bucks on one issue of DC Comics Presents number 26. I think this one. And it's a comic from 1979 or 80. It's the first appearance of the new Teen Titans by George Perez and Marv Wolf, and it's an insert inside of it. So it's always been pretty pricey. But I'm like, dude, really? And he was going to get there's an issue of that came out after that now that had Superman and He-Man. DC Comics Presents was a book where Superman teamed up with someone else, right? And I had Superman and He-Man in it from Masters of the Universe. That's like a $200 or $300 book now. It's crazy. But he didn't grab that.
I got the Batman Elmer Fudd comic that came out a few years ago.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I saw it.
That was actually pretty good.
I heard a lot of people liked it. They did a few of those.
I mean, as funny as it sounds, it actually was really. I kind of wanted to see another series based on that.
They did it, yeah. And as you probably know, they did. And back when they did that, they did a number of the DC heroes crossing over with those Hanna-Barbera,
Looney Tunes, and the Hanna-Barbera too,
and the Looney Tunes characters. Yes,
heck, I got them right here.
There you go.
See, I was just going through, trying to decide what comics. I'm trying to declutter a little bit.
Sure.
So,
yep, Huckleberry Hound. Oh man, Top Cat. That's hilarious. I didn't even see all of them, but I knew there was a bunch of them out there. What's that? That's
Nightwing with the
Nightwing,
gorilla.
Is that Magilla Gorilla?
Yep.
Oh my goodness, or Grape Ape? Is it Grape Ape?
Yep.
A Hong Kong Phooey.
No, that was.
Jeez. Speed Buggy. Now that one makes sense. It's just Speed Buggy. I used to watch all these cartoons, and of course, read all these comics. Jabberjaw. Now, come on, now, that was hilarious. Jabberjaw. He talked like Curly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Blue Falcon and the Super Sons.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But
hilarious.
then there was the.
And that wasn't that long ago either, where they were at least trying to do something fun. How about that?
These are the Looney Tune ones.
Oh, I love that. I love the Martian Manhunter and Marvin the Martian. That's a good combo.
Now this was a really good one.
I love Jonah Hex, and I love Jonah and Yosemite Sam.
And I don't know if you can really see it on here, but Foghorn is in it.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
Now this one was not that good.
Let's see
is
that
the
one.
variant.
Yeah, what is that? Harley and
Gossamer.
Goss. I don't know. Doesn't look familiar to me. I don't know.
Gossamer was the big. He was 1960s, basically the big creature of hair.
The big furry thingy. Okay.
Yeah.
Weird. Joker, Daffy Duck, I've heard of. And they have variant covers, do they?
Now this one I didn't exactly care for, or at least.
Lex Luthor and Porky Pig.
I hate this one. I mean, Porky just looks.
That cover's great. Yeah, it's not good.
But then there was also.
Oh man, Catwoman and Tweety. Wow.
So.
I know they did one with Funky Phantom. I can't remember who he was with. And they did Captain Caveman as well but I can't remember what hero he met for some reason.
Well, the sad thing, I mean, I'm going to keep them. I mean, they're not worth much, but they're fun.
That's all that really matters is that they're fun. What they're worth doesn't matter as much, really.
Well, the thing I'm trying to decide is what to do with the ones that aren't fun anymore, that aren't worth anything. Yeah. Now, this will probably be blast. Well, no, not really, because you don't have any of the new ones. Yeah. Fantastic Four.
Uh-huh. What about
the new ones?
Oh, the current series I stopped. I gave it a chance a few years ago for like 13 issues, and I had Dan Slott's horrible.
So I got like 20 of them before I canceled.
Yes, it's. I think a few people are finally canceling now. That they should call it the Fantastic 44. I mean, like, I don't like the way they handle any of the characters. Like, it's crowded. It was just the art's been really horrible.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is I'll keep the Ben Grimm wedding.
Right, I bought that.
But the rest of it, I might just. I don't know what I'll do with the rest of it though.
There's a new comic out that even I kind of want to get because I'm such a big Ben Grimm fan. I'm a fan of The Thing, and it's a Thing. No, it's a Thing miniseries. It just came out, and it's written by Walter Mosley, who is a well-known author. He's well-known as a big-time Kirby fan and a Fantastic Four fan. He's the guy. I don't know if you're familiar with the story, but a couple of years back, he was actually hired by the writers of that idiot. By Kurtzman, that idiot Kurtzman on STD on Discovery, and he's a well-known writer. Right, he was fired for saying a certain word in the writers' room. During I don't know if you remember that story. If you're familiar with it,
I don't know.
Well, he used a certain word that starts with an N, and he happens to be an African American gentleman. He was relating a story about his life. He used it, and they fired him, and it was in private. And again. Because they, I'm going, well, you guys you fire a guy with writing talent. That makes sense.
Well, it sounds like it's become the word from Narnia, the unspeakable word.
Yes.
If you read the Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah, the unspeakable. By the way, Mark needed to see. Yes, I knew it. I got to go pick it up. I hear that the art inside is not very good, but it's Walter Mosley, so I'll read it.
Well, what about the new 80th comic that came out, the 80th anniversary comic?
I looked at it, and it looked kind of. Oh man, because that Fantastic Four means so much to me that I just looked at it. It's the 60th anniversary of the FF. Well, there's an 80th anniversary of Marvel type thing, but I don't know. Didn't pick it up. Did you pick it up, or is it out yet? Even
No,
No, okay,
no.
not yet.
Mostly, I think I saw it, but the thing was, I've just been unhappy with the Fantastic Four run that's going on right now. It's like, why do I want
Yeah.
to buy a $10 comic?
Exactly. I gave it that run 13 issues because I promised a friend I would, and because it came back out, they got brought back in 2018, and I just, oh man, if you're gonna try to suck me in, how about get some decent art? They had 1 million covers on that first issue, and that was fine, but just the interior art's been really terrible.
Well, did you see anything with the Marvel releases today?
I did not.
There's supposed to be like they dropped title cards for Ironheart, Miss Marvel, and the woman. Let me see if I can find them.
Yeah, you mean the upcoming Marvel projects? No, I saw that.
Yeah,
Midnight Seb was talking about that. I saw a stream talking about it a little bit, but I don't know all the projects. I do know that I'm scared for Moon Knight.
I don't really know much about that.
Oscar Isaac's a good actor and all that stuff, but if they don't get the costume right, they probably won't. It's Disney.
Here we go.
Disney
This
doing
is
Moon Knight. Okay. Oh, yeah, that came out today. You're right. I've heard people talking about it, but I don't know much.
The Marvel thing. Oh, gee.
Marvel Zombies. Gee, what is wrong with you people? God, I hate Marvel Zombies. I really do. Always hated them. X-Men 97.
I never even knew it was a real thing.
Yeah, it was a comic back in the either late 90s or into the early 2000s, I believe it was, for a different series called Marvel Zombies, where the superheroes are turned into zombies. And it's based on a joke from back in the 80s and 90s, but if all you read was Marvel and you wouldn't even give any other comics companies a chance, they called you, quote, a Marvel zombie. It just became like a joke through fan, and then later they did a comic book about Marvel zombies. Oh, man. No,
I gotta say,
go ahead.
I think the X-Men is going to be a trap. It's supposed to be a play from the 90s one, isn't it?
It is. It's supposed to be a and they even hired the voice actors, so they say, of the 90s cartoon from Fox. And I'm absolutely with you. It's going to be a trap. Well, again, because they've already been saying stuff like they want to change things. They don't even like calling them X-Men. It's going to be full of that W word, the woke word, I'm sure.
See, I don't see anything on here that would want me to subscribe to Disney.
Yeah,
I'm not interested in any of them.
Me either. I will watch because I have access to Disney because my daughter has it, and I don't even use it that much. But I will watch Moon Knight and give it a shot because I love the character. But a dark thing like that on Disney and the way they ruin stuff, I am not hopeful. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's X-Men animated, Mark D. That's right.
So, gotta ask too. Have you been watching Doctor Who?
I can't do it. I even got rid of my DirecTV. I don't have it anymore. The last thing I saw was that horrible last special with Captain Jack, and I've decided that I can't go out of my way to watch Flux. I can't do it. I'm gonna let everyone else take the arrows. So I'll watch what Bowles Trek's videos and Gary and Naz. What about you?
I have. Oh, Comic Sense is on. So Justin, links in the chat. I'll throw it in again too if you want to join.
Sense. All right, Comic Sense. What's up, dude?
So it's not as preachy. Ian, good to see you.
Ian,
I was just about to do my Doctor Who review.
Great stuff. Can't wait.
What about it, Ian?
It's just basically, they're pushing the implied relationship between Yaz and the Doctor.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Good luck.
I mean, it's garbage.
I don't watch it. I've just given up on it now.
I know.
I want nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. I just think they've just insult. I think I don't want to add to the viewers on this one, And also, I want to ask you a question, Father. And also, hi, Cobra in Time. How you doing, mate? All right.
Hey, good to see you.
All right. I want to ask you a question, Father. How comes didn't Az stop his TV license, his BBC TV license, right? Az.
I think he said, and he explained it in one of the Who things. I think he's paying. a year, and then you get a refund when you cancel.
Yeah, he said he
right?
started it back, but he's going to cancel it. After the Doctor.
Oh, I see. Okay. Because I was wondering how was he seeing these episodes? I was wondering. Hey, Justin.
I'm told
We
there are
started
other
early.
ways.
What happened? I started doing comic talk. I'm like, wait a minute. I jumped
Yeah.
off.
I think there are other ways
So
to see
as
it.
I was
Oh, sorry,
As I was
covering time.
explaining, I had to
No,
start. I had to start the stream earlier today because I have to be in the church by 4.
Well, that is
because,
responsible.
We're doing Holy Hour today.
Get
And
you
then
to the
after that
church
is
on
done, I'm
time.
going to- yeah, but
Yeah.
then I
Spirit of,
also
In the spirit of our friend Odin,
state
I'm
playoffs tonight.
the best Italian food in the
Oh,
Midwest,
wow.
which is
Wow.
called
That's
Zio
great.
Giano's or Grinders. If you're in the Quad Cities, they make this meat sauce that you just kill.
Wow.
It's the best.
That's
Nice.
crazy.
What place is that?
In the Cedar Rapids Quad City area, or not Quad City, like Cedar Falls and Iowa City, it's called Zio Giano's. If you're in,
Okay.
if you're in the Quad Cities, Davenport and stuff, or Moline, it's Grinders. Same sauce, same bread. Been eating it since 1984. Free
Is that
plug
the one
for
by
those.
North Park Mall?
Where's that location? There's one on Locust. And there's
North Park?
one. No, it's
Okay.
not. It's not by North Park.
So I want to ask you a question, Father. So, and
Yeah.
anyone that wants to jump into this question. So so now it's been confirmed that she's actually going to change. She's going to regenerate into someone else. Who do you think is it going to be, a woman or a man? What do you
I'll
reckon?
tell you, it'll be funny. The thought that I have is if it's a man, he's going to realize he's wearing women's underwear.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
It's gonna be a woman.
It's going to be a woman. You reckon?
Well, Davies, I don't have any faith in him anyway. I think he might. It's a good possibility it couldn't turn out to be a man, but I don't know, man. It's tough for me to believe that right now.
You know what, though? There's 1,000 ways to retcon the retcon. And I know that his mission is to actually destroy Doctor Who before he leaves.
Yes.
So he's going to be adding so much crap onto the origin of Doctor
Yeah,
Who.
that's-
And that's his MO,
That's
I
the
reckon.
scary thing is this weekend is the 3rd episode, and there's 3 more episodes left. One of the new characters this season is somebody from the Doctor's past.
Mm.
So this is probably something
course.
that's totally new, which would play into the timeless children garbage.
I'm thinking it might be his parents from the planet that
Yeah.
she is really from.
Yeah, but also there's a rumor that she's going to change into the other Doctor. You know, the black woman. She's going to change into her.
Joe Martin.
Joe Martin, and quite frankly, Joe Martin is wrong to play the Doctor. In fact, I'm not white myself, but I honestly think that the Doctor should be a white male always, personally, because it was conceived that way, and I think it's they're using this regeneration to actually put their rubbish into the show.
That's racist. How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Yeah, but they've been doing that since before Capaldi.
Yeah, they now they've got
Planting
full
the seeds,
permission.
Yeah. Planting
Yeah,
the
they've
seeds.
got full permission now to do it fully, aren't they?
Right.
So that they're gonna burn the house before they leave. That's what they're gonna do.
That's what I think.
So yeah, never mind.
I don't know. It could be like the end of James Bond. We'll just do a reboot.
Oh man, don't even talk to me about that. That really upset me. That film.
Oh, you're
I
upset.
wouldn't. I'd never want to see that film ever again. Ever. I've got every James Bond film on Blu-ray, and that is one of the films
Except
I
for
will
this.
not get on
I
Blu-ray
think I've seen the
ever.
last 2.
Yeah.
Or I got bored with them. They weren't, once you get out of the 80s and the technology in real life equals the technology in a James Bond film, it's no longer fun. I was a Q guy. Oh, what's he got for gadgets? And now it's
Now they're not fun at all. I can't stand the Craig run, but ever since 1973 until that horrible movie Spectre, I've saw them all in the theater, and I've not watched this new one. I can't do it. I don't even want to ever watch it. And
It's
I
long.
trust-
It's boring.
I'll trust people like Ian because I know that I'll listen to that and go, that's enough to make me never want to even sit through that crap. And I don't
It
like
is.
any of the Craig ones, to be honest. I'm not the biggest on the Brosnan ones, but they're okay. But at least
Roger
those are
Moore
Bond films.
forever.
Well, they're Bond films. I'll take a silly. Why do I need to see a depressing downer in a Bond movie. This guy who's just, it's just may as well be Jim Smith or something. He's not.
Yeah,
James
yeah,
Bond.
you're right. Yeah,
Why do we need movies about Bond's personal life? 4 straight movies about his quote unquote origin. 5. I mean, they're all about his life and his why.
I just saw a picture, guys, of the latest that Marvel's going to be coughing up, and I don't recognize any of the things they're talking about at all.
You guys chatting about that?
Marvel.
I'd love to weigh in if you have any questions.
Look at that! Look at that! What the hell is that all about? I know She-Hulk. That's about it.
Marvel 97 is going to be them trying to recapture me and people like me
series.
who enjoyed Marvel, but in 97, that was the pinnacle. Then they started to go down. I think they were headed towards that whole bankruptcy thing, and that's when they sold the rights to their.
That's when they went. That is the year they filed for bankruptcy. You're right.
Yeah. So I don't know why they're saying 97. I don't understand. Like, I'll have to go back to my comics and say, what is 97 that makes it so awesome that you have to do a show? I don't know who Echo is. Anybody know who Echo is?
But the animated series, I don't know why. I'm with you. I'm not sure what they have to put the word 97 there for. But yeah, it's
92 would make more sense because that was when
it started.
That's when it was hot. And they have a series right now called X-Men Legends that I've been picking up, and it's fun because it goes back to that time period, and they add stories and they interject some things. They've actually introduced characters in an old classic style book.
Oh, really? Is that going on now? Is that like Untold Tales that Buscett used to do for Spider-Man?
Yeah, I'll pull some issues out and I'll flash them here in a little bit. Get off my desk. I'm eating.
All right, I'm off your desk. Oh, I didn't mean. I'm sorry. I got on you. Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I'm sorry.
There's. I mean, I'm reeling from all the comic book stuff. I got my because Lunar distribution is so great. I got my DC order for next week yesterday, and lo and behold, that Superboy or a Superman.
Oh no!
It's a full page mouthy.
No.
There you go.
I'm like,
you got what you paid for, buddy.
Oh, now that's a comic.
Swing that saber, Ben. We're done for.
If you guys touch in with Ethan Van Sciver's videos, but he was talking about something that I've been following for a while, is how we see them getting rid of our old heroes and replacing them with their versions, and that is a legal issue. Currently, DC and Marvel are both fighting with creator families and likeness rights, and we're going to see the death of. I mean, Ethan talked about it, but I'm sure we're going to see the death of the original Superman, or he'll disappear, he'll go off planet, he'll be replaced by John Kent, his son, which is the current one that everybody's talking about. And he'll be Superman
let him and let him get rid of. Let him not mess with the originals and just do that, because that's better than them doing horrible things with the originals. Let him do.
I look at him. I look at John Kent, and I keep thinking bulimic or anorexic.
Did you see the cover to Robin's #1 with the Nightwing?
Oh,
you want to talk?
No.
Soy comics.
You know what, guys? Though seriously, I've just come. I'm a huge geek, as it says there, mega geek. Love comics, love films, love music, but these days I just keep going back to, backwards to try and get my enjoyment. Now it's just getting worse. Can't stand the stuff today.
The stuff that was good.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
Me too.
Can't stand it. The stuff they bring out today is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Ian, I can't stand the modern aesthetic of anything either. When I try to watch something new, I mean, I know it's because it's an old fogey thing, but I mean, not that there isn't anything new coming out that's any good. Sometimes I like Cobra Kai or something, for example, but I look at this new stuff. Can't look at a new comic book cover without my eyes bleeding. I can't stand any of you guys buy any new comic books. I don't know how you do it. Or anything new they make.
Some of them are good. I mean, not all, but there have been some that have really been good.
I hear you. I just can't. I just like totally like Ian. I go back and watch older stuff. Fortunately, there's always something to slip through the crack that maybe you didn't watch when everyone else did that you can find, or you didn't watch it in so long it'll feel new. That's kind of fun.
Well,
so here's that X-Men Legends series that's going on right now. You can see very, very harkening back to the 90s when they were at their best. Colorful spandex. I think they're up to issue.
I think they're best 7 or 8, maybe. I picked 70s and 80s as their best era, buddy. But I'm with you.
That's. I mean, when I say best, I mean most profitable era. When they, they look at numbers on a sheet and go, well, in the 90s we made the most money.
You're right.
Yeah, because you had 2 legends working on your book. Jim Lee jumped ship shortly after that. Chris Claremont only did up to issue #2 on the newer series that they did with Jim Lee, and then he was gone.
Is Jim Lee a legend now? I'm not a fan, but go ahead. I hear you. He's big.
His artwork has legendary ties because it was so good. But it's funny. I met him.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you, dude. I hear
No,
you.
I know, but I met him a couple years ago, and he's a bit of a douche. I mean, he's a bit of a I don't care about these 10,000 people. Maybe he does. He was eager to get me out of the line so he could talk to the hot chick dressed like Rogue. So I felt kind
Well,
of
you can't blame him there, but no, I'm kidding.
But
I look pretty good. I'm making nice cable. I think.
talking about dressed like, what's that Star Wars girl? She's got a calendar out, hasn't she?
Oh,
she's
boy.
like
Yeah.
she's like dressed like Rogue in one shot and
Catwoman.
Catwoman. And you know what, right? She
Come
looks
on.
absolutely fantastic, doesn't
I don't know
she?
about such things. I've
Wow.
been married for 20 years. I don't look at other girls.
Yeah, he doesn't eat pizza either.
No.
Well, this is
She looks
ravioli.
great. She's doing a good job as far as I wouldn't buy the calendar personally, but
John
she's
Buster, make money.
yeah, I
He's
know.
not violating
yeah.
anything. Oh wait, you are
I
copyright.
haven't watched one of her streams in a while.
She's funny. She makes me laugh. I think she's very entertaining. I
Seems
find.
like a very nice girl.
Yeah, she does. She does. She's making money.
So, Justin, as I was telling Claudia before we went live, and I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I don't know if you were here for that. I was supposed to come back this week originally, but then it got pushed to next week, and now I don't know if I'm coming back next week because somebody I had dinner with on Tuesday came down with a coof,
Oh no, that's not good.
and I spent 2 hours sitting next to him. So we'll see what happens.
I hope you're okay, mate.
I am. I'm vaccinated. I mean, I've had the shots.
You can still get it though, even if you are vaccinated.
You can get it. You can spread
and
it.
The thing is, I don't want to go home and give it to my parents who are in their 70s.
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, that's
That
very
is
understandable. Yeah, it's not good, is it? You know what? Yesterday I was in Forbidden Planet. Forbidden Planet's this huge comic store. It used to be a niche thing. Now it's like it's everywhere. And I was in there, and this is no lie. We went to the Doctor Who shelf, and it was only 2 shelves with hardly anything on it. Hardly anything on it. It was crazy, absolutely crazy.
This is all Jodie Whittaker on there.
No, the most exciting thing that we saw, me and Keith was in Forbidden Planet yesterday, was they had these little models of the Back to the Future characters, and they were really well done. The size of the Star Wars ones, but it was Back to the Future, and the one of Marty McFly, absolutely brilliant. So I think next time I go in there, I'm going to buy them.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys should feel heartbreak for me because I'm a huge. Okay, we know what's behind me, right? We see this.
Yeah.
Lego just revealed the largest Lego set ever.
Yes, absolutely.
$800. I can't justify that to my wife. I can't say I know you love me. Please don't hate me. But I bought this in Lego form, and it was $800.
But Justin, when you get a Lego thing, because I've never got one, and do you have to build it by scratch? Is there like an instruction manual or something?
Instructions. Oh yeah,
All
the
right.
book for like the Falcon that they released, it was like $500. The book is like that thick. It's like a
Wow.
manual.
Wow.
Because they take it step by step, and there's thousands of pieces. I mean, hats off to Lego for making these incredible things, but you gotta have some throw around petty cash.
Patience.
I mean, I'll do it. You wouldn't believe it, Father Miller, that we've been getting our CGC orders in a week and a half after we send them in. I just got House of Slaughter #1 back. We've been selling those. I got my Something's Killing the Children's all came in 1 through 7 are all 9/8.
So anything?
So I could buy one, but my wife wouldn't like it very much.
Any updates on my orders?
CBCS, because I'm getting yours signed. There's no update.
Well, but I meant the other two, the Lois Lane one and the Sergeant Fury.
Well, that's the joke of it right now, as CGC is trying to catch up on orders that come in. So they're hammering every order that comes in, and it's right back out the door. I mean, I literally a week turnaround on the last order I sent in with pre-screening. And the other 180 books we have there, including yours, are just sitting there waiting for someone to eventually get to.
Well,
that's old Bob. He's in the corner. He's handling all the other 5,000 orders we got. We would get the new ones out right away. I said, can you send them back to me, and I'll send them in again, and then you can send them right back. That'd be great.
I was in HMV a couple of days ago, one of the very few that's left, and I just saw a few of the James Bond Blu-rays, and it was like 3 for £13. Couldn't resist. Could not resist. I got Moonraker. I got For Your Eyes Only. I got what else? I got Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, and Living Daylights. I just couldn't resist. Just those films.
I'm looking forward to So over here, I don't know if you have it in England, but we have the Black Friday post Thanksgiving sales.
No, we haven't had it here.
I
yet.
don't have
usually,
Thanksgiving,
No, we don't.
I usually stock up on Black Friday stuff at Best Buy because they usually have a bunch of the movies on sale.
You know,
Wow.
most of those companies, they have what they call doorbusters, which they get a bunch of cheap, crappy products that they sell you really, really ridiculously cheap for Christmas presents. But I don't know how they're going to get them this year when China has got, we got those container ships all backed up. Black Friday, traditionally, for those who don't know, in the old days, nobody would be open on Thanksgiving. You'd be with your family.
Oh,
Very nice. You'd be with your family, you'd eat dinner, and then they'd publish a newspaper that you could pick up, and you'd look at all the ads, and then the next day, Friday, you go shopping with everybody else and try not to kill each other. Hard copies are the best.
you got
I'm
almost
telling you.
every one.
Yeah, I know. I just went mad in the store when I was
Why
in
don't
there.
have like a box
Just went
set?
mental. I was like, I've got to buy these,
I gotta get a
Crazy.
couple of those. I'm missing a few from the Blu-ray, but those are some of the ones. Yeah, love it. The real ones, real deal.
Real Bond, mate. Real Bond.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Shame what they did to him. Absolutely shame.
By the way,
Seriously.
I don't know if you all know it, but Dolly had braces. Just saying.
Really?
I have missed this conversation. What are we talking about?
Dolly
Do you know
had
what?
braces.
Do you know what,
Moonraker.
Clobbering Time? You're a big fan of The Thing, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right.
indeed.
So
the biggest.
the question is, why
Yeah,
haven't
seriously.
they've done all this stuff in Marvel? Why haven't they tackled the Fantastic Four yet? Why
They've
haven't they
tackled
done
them
it?
all right. They've
I
tackled
can
them and
feel
shot
it.
them in the head with with 4 bad movies. So one that wasn't even supposed to be made. So the answer is that they don't respect the material enough. Plus the fact, like I will say this as someone who's biased towards Fantastic Four, the only way it can really be done justice, in my opinion, is a period film. But it's got to
Well-
be someone who respects the material. It fits better into another time. I will say that.
Well, I think they have to fit the Fantastic Four within the structure of what they got now. So I mean,
time jump would be.
which
Yeah, well,
dooms it. Which dooms it, by the way. They do.
well, I do like the Tom Holland Spider-Man, but I don't think he's as good as the Raimi Spider-Man at all. But I still enjoyed it, and I really take my hat off to them fitting Spider-Man into the cinematic universe by having him linked with Iron Man, and and the idea that they don't show how he became Spider-Man. Everybody knows how he became Spider-Man. I like that. It's fine. It's not great, but it's fine.
I'm not
And I
a
think if
fan
they
of it.
bring if they bring the Fantastic Four back, I think they shouldn't go through the origin. They should just be there and then, and then deal with it from that point on. In fact, the Fantastic Four should have came in when, what's his name? Fury was disappearing through the snap, and on his thing, it said 4 instead of Captain Marvel
That would
rubbish.
have been better.
It would have been better, right?
But
Yeah, it would have led to a lot of better things than just that Captain Marvel movie.
Exactly.
That's
I
the
think if they
DFA
were to-
project, though.
Yeah,
Go
the
ahead.
rumor I heard was, and it's a rumor because I know they're testing the market to see what kind of reaction they're going to get, because you have to be very careful. We're talking about, the history of the Fantastic Four. They tried to, change races and they tried to change actors and make it work, and it just never worked. But the rumor was that John Krasinski and his wife, Emily Blunt, would be Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic, which would be perfect.
That's fan
would.
stuff. Though.
Well, it
That's
is,
fan
but
stuff.
a lot of times that fan stuff will turn into reality because he's been asked about it, and he said he would do it if he was asked.
Not a
but-
chance. No, sorry.
I mean, they
I
would
need
have
to
to
watch Venture Brothers.
Yeah, the only way I think that it would work if they were going to try to make it make sense to normies is say, show a period piece like you were saying, Geek, about them doing whatever they were doing back in their time, and then have that whole experience of them getting their powers time jumps them to somewhat current day, and then you have a good anti Mr. Fantastic because now he's handicapped by technology that he has to take time to learn to get used to before he can go back to being the smartest man on the planet.
I'd be fine with that, but the big issue really is, yes, they never really get the story right. The casting now will not be allowed because I don't like those 2 Sony movies that much. They have things I like in them, things I don't. But for the most part, the casting was pretty good. That's gone. The casting on this one will be unrecognizable from the comic, and that will be a deal breaker for me as a Fantastic Four fanatic. So if after they cast it and they do it the way I think Kevin Feige will do it, right then and there, if anyone says, "Well, how do you know it might be good?" Well, you might. Well, go enjoy it. I'm out. I love the Fantastic Four too much. They don't cast it right. Go to you nowhere.
Do you know what, guys? Right, seriously, before the cinematic universe happened, and as a kid, you always imagine who would play them in movies.
Yes.
When I was young, I imagined it would be Timothy Dalton that would have been Iron Man, because I thought he looked like Tony Stark, Timothy Dalton, at that moment in time. And then I imagined Paul Newman as Mr. Fantastic, because Paul Newman looks like Mr. Fantastic in the comics. You know, I was wondering whether you guys had any memories of when you were a kid, who you would have got, what superstar you would have got to play any of these comic book characters. I mean, those are my thoughts when I was a kid.
Ian,
I don't know
did you ever
about you
read
guys.
Marvels? Did you ever read Marvels?
Yes, I love
Curtis
Marvels.
yet? Well,
Yes.
he modeled Tony Stark on Timothy
He did?
Dalton. He modeled
did?
Reed Richards on the professor from Gilligan's Island. Yes, Russell Johnson. I swear.
All right.
He modeled a lot of those characters on actors. He modeled, was it Bolivar Trask on Boris Karloff? Of
Yes.
course, obviously, he predicted by modeling Professor X on Patrick Stewart
Yeah.
way before he played him. And so,
You know,
Yeah,
Timothy
those-
Dalton does a great imitation of Tony Stark. If you watch The Rocketeer, that's basically
Yes.
his
Yes.
kind of attitude was, you know, playboy, fancy.
Yeah.
yes, he didn't talk like Peter Parker the way RDJ did, but which is fine. Still like RDJ, but
And also, when I was a kid, I imagined Henry Thomas as Peter Parker. I was like, if I was going to make a Spider-Man, at that moment in time, I thought I'd get Henry Thomas because he looks a bit like Peter Parker in the comics. But obviously, that when it didn't happen, did it? So, you know, as I said, when you're a kid, you imagine these things, you see these stars, and you think, you know, who could play this or who could play that?
sure.
And yeah, and that's what I imagined when I was a kid. So I don't know about you
seriously
guys.
enjoyed Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. I thought he was hilarious.
Oh yes, yeah, he was.
Let's see
He
when
was
he
fun.
comes over. You just waiting for me to get out of the shower and he just steams himself right there. In front of
He was
Nice.
great. He was one of the best things in those very lackluster, flawed movies.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
those
shame.
movies they weren't terribly cast. They were pretty good cast the first couple, but they were I just felt they were written badly and they were edited
Agreed.
badly. I mean,
So,
the
what
part where-
nationality is the girl who played Sue Storm in that film?
Oh,
What nationality? She's definitely not. She's got some kind of mix in there, isn't she? How could she be Johnny
Latina's
Storm's brother?
Fantastic.
That's true.
Oh,
Latina,
that
but I
one.
mean,
What was her
Jessica
name?
Alba. Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba. She doesn't look like Chris Evans' brother, sister. I mean,
Well, they're
does
both
she?
tan. They're both tan. They look like they're from California. What part it doesn't
Yeah.
look like it?
No, you can. Nah, she's definitely not.
She's her
got
mom's side.
mix
He's
there,
his
isn't
dad's
she?
side.
They look more related.
Oh,
to
maybe.
the way it wasn't Van Forstick though. They look more related. To
Oh
that.
God. Oh God, please don't even talk about that. Was awful. Justin,
wanna
what do you reckon of that one, mate? What do you reckon?
Van Forstick? Is that what
Yeah.
you said?
That's what
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
is.
fantastic.
I don't
Van
know what it is.
Forstick. One,
No, the one with Johnny Storm is black.
2015.
Oh, the newest one that they had made.
Yeah.
Well, as much as I like Michael B. Jordan, I thought it was a complete terrible thing to do to him was to put him in that situation to play
Yeah.
a character. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any. I mean, it makes sense in the real world. You could say, yeah, sure, this is totally viable. But again, you're trying to make money off a property by appealing to the fans. That's what you should be doing. If you want to make money off of something, you target the people who have been buying it for 50 years, 60 years. You don't change everything up and we've been through this. I mean, we've all been through this before. How many properties have they taken the name, slapped it on? It's like that's not even the thing anymore. It's something completely different. And I don't mean the thing. I mean that's not even the stuff. It's just completely different.
PJ.
PJ.
Hey,
No,
How you
you're an
doing,
ist.
PJ?
You're an ist if you think Michael B.
Not too
Jordan
bad.
shouldn't play that role.
Thanks.
I love Michael B. Jordan. I don't think he should play that role.
Yeah,
No, he shouldn't.
We're both a couple of ists for that. And you know who else is an ist for that? Back when that came out, I got the greatest Fantastic Four fan I know, who is the ultimate, and it is a gentleman that I'm friends with, been friends with for many years, at least online and everything. He's a comic book, it's an artist. He's even older than me. He happens to be not only a black gentleman, but a gay gentleman, and politically we agree on nothing. And he came out right when that was cast, and he said, "This is stupid. I want the Johnny Storm that I grew up loving as a fan." He said, "Johnny Storm is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white boy, and that's the way he should be. I want him that way. And this, and stop calling my friends names just because they think they want to see what they cast in the comic book." Because he was a comic book purist.
You're absolutely right, because Johnny Storm is conceived as a white man, and to actually change his race is really insulting to the character and to all the fans that love Fantastic Four, as far as I'm concerned. So
Right.
You
wanna
don't
see
need to
what
worry
they saw
because
in the
you'll have
comic book.
Johnny Storm next.
And you see that right there? Red's Kathy. What a shame. Great actor. Sad this is his last movie.
Yeah.
No, not his last. He was in
No,
Luke
I didn't
Cage.
mind him as Mr. Fantastic. I thought he was pretty good. He's kind of young, but that's the
He's
all-
too young.
Look at Ben Grimm in this. Ben Grimm's terrible. Oh,
Yeah.
The CG was terrible. They really need to get to the original look of Ben Grimm. Do it
Yes.
CG, but make him look like a comic book character. Don't try to make him look like an actual pile of rock.
Two things, guys. Two things that they got wrong in two of my favorite comic book characters. One is the Thing. Thing was very, very funny. He had a sense of humor that made me laugh every time I brought the comics. They completely missed that in the films. Peter Parker, Spider-Man, had a sense of humor that made me cry with laughter in the comics, and they completely missed that as well. That's so annoying. Absolutely annoying.
It's so annoying. And this,
And
you know what?
then-
This movie, they made this movie just up the street where I live. I had to drive past this studio every day and not commit violence on it. Even though I even had to deliver stuff to it one time. I'm like, I know what they're doing in that studio right there. Urgh! But it was a disaster. And the guy who directed it, Jock Skank, is now out of the business because of things he did here. And he lost the Star Wars gig. Remember that guy?
Yeah, he did.
So more good news.
Yes.
Hey,
it's
that brings up
not
something, not to change the subject. Has anybody heard stop trying to hit my desk. Has anybody heard anything about Kathleen Kennedy? I know that her contract is sitting on a guy's desk and nobody's signed it yet, but has she been renewed?
I've only heard what Doomcock said, unfortunately.
I haven't gotten around to signing it yet.
I don't know
Yes,
how to
he
take
has.
him. People act like he's an authority, and people act like he's not and doesn't know what he's talking about. So I just listen and guess.
I just listen and enjoy the speculation.
Man,
Look at the doggy.
Yeah, every time I'm on, basically don't pay attention to him, so he sits on my knee.
well, I think everything is starting to fall under this legal precedent of who owns what, because you'll notice in the comic book, since Marvel has taken over doing Star Wars comics, they haven't printed anything with the Mandalorian or Ahsoka, Dave Filoni creations. And since they've been having all these legal battles with all these other characters where they've been changing them out for different versions so that they can, keep control and ownership. I'm just wondering if that really is what's behind all this, is just the loss of money because they have to keep paying royalties to all these families that, the family creators. Excuse me.
Yeah. What do you guys?
Surprised that we haven't seen Ahsoka or a Mandalorian comic.
What do you guys think of the new Boba Fett thing? I'm not really. I looked at the trailer and I thought, oh, okay. I'm
It
not
looks
excited
like
about it at
Sopranos.
all.
It looks
Same.
Star Wars Sopranos.
Yeah.
The only trailer I've seen that I'm mildly interested in is the Wheel of Time. I must admit, the Star Wars one I've not even looked at.
I love a good.
I'm a big
fantasy
fan of the
magic.
Wheel of Time books, so I am.
Yeah.
But I'm not too enthused about it. There's a lot, it looks really good, but there's the one or two wee bits that don't look good. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, it's going to be bad. Just for those one or two wee bits and modern day twist on things, I just have worries.
Have we any of you watched the Obi-Wan trailer? It just popped up on my phone.
Was it
Really?
good?
I
Is it
haven't
good?
watched
Does
it
look
yet.
good?
I was going to hold
Oh.
out, but now that we're
Oh.
here,
Well,
I get copyright strike if I did that.
yeah, I'll
the
go off and
trailer?
watch it and then
it's not like
Yeah.
publicly shown. Oh,
Is it
I'm gonna watch
Is
it by
it
myself.
Who's playing Obi-Wan?
Ewan McGregor.
Oh, hello
Yeah,
there.
this is
Him.
this is one of those series like we're excited and we want to see what's going to happen. I mean,
No, they're going to rehash the big fight between him and
Yeah.
Anakin. I'm not interested.
I heard that mentioned. I heard that mentioned. They were going to have him and Darth Vader, but they're going to use it as flashbacks.
I
Yeah.
thought that as well, but he could still hunt him down and encounter him at some time. But I think that would ruin all continuity.
Of course it will.
That wouldn't make any difference to them.
Yeah, they don't
Together
care.
again for the seventh time.
Yeah,
I think they're realizing though, because there's according to a lot of videos out, there's a huge attack on KK, Kathleen Kennedy, and a lot of people now are realizing. It took them long enough, didn't it? The stupid idiots realizing that she's damaging everything that she touches in Disney. So here's
they're
hoping
producing
she's
Crystal
out the
Skull,
door
I didn't know
soon. You know. Sorry, was that Justin? Oh, he's gone.
Sorry, I just say her producing Crystal Skull would have been the first hint.
All right, yeah, I guess. But I mean, the Indiana Jones film looks awful.
oh god,
I have no intention of seeing
The
it.
new one? Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
No intention.
Well, they delayed it a year. They the word got out about the script that they're gonna kill off Harrison Ford, go back in time, and erase Indiana Jones from history. And
Yeah.
all the fans are like, "What are you, stupid? I mean, what are you trying to sell?" Again, it's one more thing where they take something completely different, slap a name on it, and expect us to pay. I'm not paying. I didn't
No,
watch
I'm
the
not
Eternals.
paying.
That's the first
I
Marvel
stopped
movie I
paying
haven't
years
seen in
ago.
theater.
I stopped paying years ago. I don't even think I've seen the last few, basically even the Spider-Man, and I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and I've not watched the last few movies. Just for the
Last-
simple fact
I
is
thought they
when I
were
saw
okay.
The last Spider-Man
Spider-Man
wasn't too bad. It
Well,
wasn't
see,
ju-
the fact that he was
Hmm.
he was just basically a mini Iron Man. No,
no, PJ, the last Spider-Man, it wasn't too bad, and he wasn't a mini Iron Man. That's not true.
the way I
It-
saw it, basically, that's how it portrayed across to me. It
Well,
basically
well-
was wearing a suit. It was Iron Man built. It was it
Okay,
was
okay,
the suit
but,
and it all.
but PJ, you should watch the film, then make a conclusion. It isn't that bad. To tell you the truth, it's not that bad. I just didn't like the
enjoyed it.
conclusion. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't like the conclusion to the film. That's all.
I didn't enjoy it. I did watch it, but I didn't enjoy it. So I basically,
No.
after that, I've not watched anything else from Spider-Man. Just for
I
the
want to
simple
see the one at Christmas.
What's the one you've watched,
I
PJ,
will.
lately that you like? What have you liked out of Marvel?
Well, I've not watched
Summer.
a lot of this stuff because I think I didn't even see the last two Avengers stuff or the Endgame or anything like that.
Endgame's good.
I didn't.
Wow, really?
I hated. Believe it or not, I know I'm going to be very unpopular. I hated the Guardians of the Galaxy. To me, they were non-entities that meant nothing to me, so I didn't get invested in it. I watched the first one and thought, boring. Why watch it again?
PJ,
Because
you're dead to me.
But it's just one of those things. The characters meant zero to me, so I didn't care enough about them, and I didn't find it funny. I didn't find it interesting, and
I don't know.
it just was one of those things. But then again, remember, I don't really like a lot of the newer stuff.
Yeah.
You look at the two Spider-Mans that I did like, the Sam Raimi one. I
Yes,
hated
great
parts of
stuff.
that. I hated the fact that he couldn't control his limbs when he was swinging on his biological webs. Hated the biological webs and hated the fact when he was swinging, he looked like a rag doll. Whereas the one with, oh God, what's his name? The one that played Anakin.
Andrew Garfield.
Garfield, he had control of his limbs. I liked that. When he was Peter Parker, I didn't like him, but when he was Spider-Man, I liked him.
He looked a
more
lot like
control.
Ditko drew him. So,
Yeah, I think I didn't like Andrew Garfield's costume. It looked rubber for some reason. It looked like he was wearing rubber, and I just
I don't
didn't
like
like
that either.
it. Mm.
Yeah, but I think as Spider-Man, he was better than.
He had the most personality, I think, of the three. I mean,
Yeah.
Toby was a good all-over actor for Peter Parker. I think Andrew Garfield was almost a little too cool to be Peter Parker, but today's day and age, he represented what would have been the outcast in school. I mean, you can't go back to the 1960s and have that be today's nerd because it wouldn't make any sense to anybody.
Yeah,
But and then Tom Holland has the the charm of an aloof, sweet kid who is doing the right thing. But people hate me for this. I kind of liked Andrew Garfield better than anybody else, just because of how he acted as Spider-Man, in and out of the costume.
he did talk like him when he was in the costume. I'll give him that. And when you
Yeah,
look
when
at
he
his face, he looks like
when
he looks like Ditko's version.
and when he was fighting the Winter Soldier,
He just had lousy movies. I mean,
the Avengers one when he was fighting the Winter Soldier, that was Spider-Man. The quips, the silliness and stuff like that.
Garfield though, he actually talked like Spider-Man in the costume. It's just his movies were bad.
That's another thing I didn't understand, guys, is that when whoever played Spider-Man, their voice was the same as Spider-Man. And I remember reading in the comics, they had this splash page where it showed you his eye, how he looked out of the eye in the costume, and then it said his mask muffles his voice, so you can't tell he's Peter Parker. And they've never done that in the films. Never, ever done that in the films. Anytime you speak, you can tell. Yeah.
But no fairness, everybody's used to wearing masks nowadays. They all talk clearly.
But in the cartoon, they got it right. They had in the cartoon, the 60s cartoon, Peter Parker had a Peter Parker voice, and then when he was Spider-Man, it was more kind of manly, wasn't it? So I don't understand why they didn't do that. Really.
Are we talking about the classic Amazing Friends, the one that was on?
No.
No.
Oh.
We're talking about the 60s Spider-Man.
Was it Paul Scholes or whatever? He sounded like he was 30.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love it.
And I know Toby was 30 when he made it.
I like
Yeah.
the mechanics comment. That was hilarious. Little John Cleese in there, or not John Cleese, but Monty Python.
It's good. I like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite comic character out of every one of them. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man is always the person that I could relate to, because I mean, I guess I was like him when I was in college, complete dweeb and always getting punched by stupid people.
What was your first comic, Geek? What was your first comic? The one you picked up and went, I'm reading this.
Okay, so my first comic was introduced to me by my older brother, and it was a reprint of an American Spider-Man comic, but it was a British reprint, because in those days in England they couldn't sell the American comics in England. So what England did was they reprinted it, but they didn't have color, and it was like the paper was like recycled paper. And
okay.
and
was it comic strip style, or was it comic book
it was
style?
It was comic book style.
Okay.
And so when they sold it here, the one that my brother got was when you got the free Spider-Man mask, and it was made of paper. And I remember that was the first
Marvel
one.
UK.
Right.
Yes,
Marvel UK. Yeah. That was the first one I ever read.
I grew up reading Commando comics and Star Blazer, and the first comics I started reading were Star-Lord.
Ah.
Who were pre-2000.
Now in Marvel, that's a different person entirely, right? Star-Lord.
that was a different
Star-Lord
time.
was basically 2000 AD bought them over,
Right.
and incorporated some of their characters like Rojos and jeez.
We had ABC Warriors and Robo Hunter.
Yeah, so a lot of them were taken over from Star-Lord. So you always used to see 2000 AD and Star-Lord. A couple of months later, it was 2000 AD, Star-Lord. 2000 AD, Star-Lord. And then 2000 AD,
PJ, who was the alien PJ that was responsible for 2000 AD? It was like the big green head.
That was Starg.
Yeah, that's Starg.
Starg. Yeah,
Starg.
2080.
Yes.
Starg's Future Shocks.
That's
I
it,
love
yeah.
Future Shocks, I must admit. But those were the ones I think maybe the first non-UK, I suppose, one I picked up was Spider-Man. And it was because, I don't know, it just basically appealed to me. I was in a comic book store and I was flicking through just to see, because these American comics, they just looked weird. Because
I loved them.
And I picked it up, and it basically I enjoyed it because I was a Peter Parker. I was the guy.
Spider-Man's costume is one of the best costumes ever designed for a superhero.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
The reason I asked about the first comic was I tie it's pretty much everybody is the first comic you pick up. That's the hero you get behind. They're usually the one you end up reading the most, and the one that hurts you the most when they screw him up. Spider-Man has been pretty lucky, I feel, in this way, because he's had several adaptations, but they've all been pretty good. And I think like I got X-Men, and it was weird for us because they're all walking around in leather outfits. I'll take what I can get. In the movies.
Yeah. Well, the X-Men one, it's when they actually even play a wee bit of homage. Like, that's what I keep saying. See, when the X-Men one, they're all wearing the black, and Wolverine, he's looking down at his outfit and he says, "What did you expect? Yellow spandex." Yep. I thought at least they acknowledged that. Yep. And it's things like that. So if they change it, but at least they acknowledge something about it, saying that we are aware of changing it, so we'll make a joke out of it because it doesn't work on screen. I'm okay with that. But it's when they actually just go as if to say, this is it, and then start changing the comics to match that. No interest.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the worst. I remember that I had my store back then when they changed all the X-Men's look to match the movie. I was like, what are you doing?
Because
stop that.
They're very generic. Then they mean nothing because you can't get. But you wouldn't. I would put a poster up of Wolverine and Cyclops, Storm, and then suddenly, why would you put a poster up? They all look identical.
Yeah.
might as well just actually put a poster of anything.
That's awesome.
That's my
Yep.
first. That was the first comic I bought that wasn't a G.I. Joe comic, but yeah, that's how I was introduced, and that's what I wanted to see. Like, that's my Black Widow, 90s short haircut.
Yeah. When she teamed up with Daredevil, didn't she, at that moment in time?
This was actually an incredible book to start off with because this was a 1940s flashback where they showed Captain America and Wolverine meeting for the first time. And then Black Widow was a child in the 40s they were going to use her as, I think she was going to be what they called the Black Sky in the Daredevil show.
Right.
She was supposed to be their Black Sky, and then Captain America and Wolverine ended up rescuing her together, and then they parted ways, and they had some dealings with the Struckers, and then they jumped up to modern and tied it into the modern story. But that was, that book itself, you could read that by itself, and I drove back into town and bought whatever I could find. Didn't even know about a comic store until later on, but yeah.
Do you know when I was young, I used to read a lot of DC and used to read a lot of Marvel. But the thing that made me gravitate towards Marvel was the letters page. Because you'd read the DC letters page and somebody would go, on page 5, the costume is different from so-and-so to so-and-so. And then the reply would be, thank you for your reply, John. We'll try to make it better. And then you go to the Marvel page and then you'll go, dear Stan, they'll go, why is the Hulk? Why did the color change in panel 133 on the Hulk? And then Stan would reply, "Hey, Pilgrim, it's wonderful to hear you. You're such a great, blah blah blah." And that's what gravitate because it was far more friendlier. Marvel's world was far more friendlier, and they loved their fans.
Half of their success was due to Stan and how he treated people and how he
exactly
celebrity Marvel. I mean, you heard Marvel Comics, you knew Stan Lee. In fact, if you grew up and didn't know any better, you thought he was responsible for everything that came out of Marvel.
Especially if you listen to him tell it. Because
I like the thing that father posted on Twitter about Stan. That was really good. I think it was the father that posted it, the one, the comic strip about him passing. That was really good.
Stan was the man that made me gravitate towards Marvel more so because he seemed to care about the fans. And every time he answered a letter, I even joined Foom because he was so friendly. Do you know what I mean?
It wasn't really him, though. It was
I know it wasn't.
Flo Steinberg, but yeah.
Right,
that Mega, that collection we picked up, there was all 4 issues of the first year of Foom with the envelope. It had the stamps that you could lick and stick, and even had an unfolded poster. The color is so rich. One of these days I'm going to pull it out and have it framed when I can get the right glass for it at the frame shop. They got it, but it's I found a Foom pack and I was like, this is incredible.
But guys, right? The art in those days, right? Yes, when we were kids, we're like, this is great art. But when you look back at it now, at my age, I would consider that high art. Some of those arts that Jack Kirby has done deserves to be framed and hanging in a gallery.
You know what's going on right now as we speak? Right now, the Kirby Museum has a big exhibition going on in New York right now, a big Kirby event in New York that I would have loved to go into.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
The thing is, me as well, I can't draw to save myself, but I used to have tracing paper over my comics because they look so iconic, because I wanted those. So I would trace them out and then I would colour them in myself because I had no talent drawing. But nowadays, I wouldn't care enough if somebody gave me a picture of them. I would just go, no thanks. No, it doesn't matter.
Todd McFarlane's art, that was another thing that got me back into comics because I fell out of love with comics and then I saw his art and then I just started buying all the comics of all his art in it because I just fell in love with his art. He's absolutely brilliant artist.
Him and Jim Lee did it for a lot of people. I got a bit of art
the other day I got it commissioned and it turned up the other day and I'm overly happy with it. It's from a comic book guy. It basically does Sentinel comics, and he's the artist.
Oh,
I get flagged because I keep mentioning my favourite movie every time on my stream. You hang me. That's it there.
Okay, hold on.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, you showed us the comment. Yeah. That guy looks familiar.
Yeah. I love them. Them is my favourite movie of all time, basically. And as soon as I heard he was doing commissions, he was doing monsters, classic monsters, and people were asking, "Oh, could you do one with me? Be getting strangled with Frankenstein or something like that?" And I thought, "Oh, could you do them?" And it's I showed it to my wife, and she says, "Can we get it on a canvas? Big canvas."
There we go.
So she even likes it. And maybe the fact that I'm getting killed, I don't know, but
Maybe she's not happy with this. I'm just gonna look at this big canvas on my wall. That, yeah, can't kill that man.
yes.
Eat him. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I very rarely now. I stopped reading comics for a long time. I think the Spectacular Spider-Man stopped me reading Spider-Man comics. Didn't like the fact that Doc Ock became Spidey. And
that was terrible.
That basically killed
was
my
a
interest.
great series.
I've got it, but I stopped reading halfway through. I've
Superior
not finished
Spider-Man
it
was
because
very well written. It was very well written.
yeah, but the fact that it wasn't
Dan Slott?
Peter Parker, it was Dr. Octopus. No interest in a villain at all.
Well, they did have in most of the issues there were moments where they would cut to Peter inside his own mind trying to fight his way out. So they did have ties to that progression. But like the current Amazing Spider-Man right now, they've got Ben Reilly being Spider-Man while he's in a hospital bed in a coma. Of course, I think that has to do with the whole legal thing. I think the family is fighting with Marvel right now about the money they get paid for ownership over Spider-Man, that's what's going on. But yeah, it's just not the same without Peter.
Well, that's the thing, and it was the fact is I had no interest in Doc Ock. I like Doc Ock as a villain, but I had no interest in him as Spider-Man, none at all. And so I got the series, and then I read half of it, and I thought, nope. And then I just stopped buying the Spider-Man comics after that because I had zero interest, because that made me lose interest in them. If I pick up old ones, no problem. I still like getting the old animated stuff. I like the occasional pick up a comic if I see it in a car boot sale or something. But I've no interest in buying new stuff because of that.
Right, I hear you.
One of those things. I like my villains to be villains and my heroes to be heroes. People telling me a hero is actually a bit of a villain, or else a villain always did heroic. He's just a bad person at times. And no, sorry, I like the line where as soon as you cross it, you can no longer be classed as a villain.
Well, that's what they're trying to get us to do today, aren't they,
exactly.
PJ? They're
so
trying
basically
to.
your hero as somebody else's villain. Sorry, no.
They're all doing
It's the
that
same
now.
as the Wheel of Time. I've been rereading it again, and must
But
admit,
my niece was
ended it
talking about she was talking about Cruella, you know, the film Cruella, and she was going, "Oh, it's a really good film." And I was saying, "You mean to say that you like the character that killed all these dogs to make fur coats?" You know, and she was like, "Well, it's before she did it." And I said, "But that's not the point. The point is she
You
did
watched
it
that?
in the future."
Okay,
No,
you
I
two-
never watched
Okay.
it.
Okay, so I gotta
I-
interject on this real quick because I watched that movie. My daughter was watching it. I sat down and watched it. The movie as itself is good. She's good as a character, but here's the funny thing. Two characters in that movie towards the end, spoiler alert, they end up living single on their own. And as a gift, when she takes over her family fortune and becomes rich again, as a gift, she sends these two people Dalmatian puppies. And then it ends with the guy at his piano writing music. And it's I believe it's the two people from the original 101 Dalmatians. So they're saying that at the end of all of this, she sends these two people, Cruella sends these two people Dalmatian puppies as gifts. Because she ended up with the dogs after the movie was over, I think. Which was
But
twisted and weird.
still, it's like saying, let's make a film about Hitler and let's do
Yeah,
it before he became Hitler, and you know, and he's okay. Do you know what I mean? That makes no sense to me.
Let's do the one about Hitler at our college and how he's fantastic.
That's right. Yeah.
How he's very popular.
It doesn't
It's-
make any sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No
why
sense.
a lot of the stuff nowadays, I don't really like a lot of new stuff. There's very few
Nor
new
do I.
stuff I like. I like my classics, and I stick with my
Yeah,
classics.
as long as they keep changing things and making it what it's not, it won't.
Have you not noticed that when they go back and take a Disney villain, and try to make them nicer today, it's not a male villain. It's always a female villain. That's just odd, right? Right, guys? Just really odd.
Never saw that.
Okay, so I got to share this because you mentioned Mustache Man.
Mustache Man.
Oh yeah, John, please handle himself.
Show the world the true Hitler. The Hitler you love. The Hitler you knew. The Hitler with a song in his heart.
Dear, oh dear. Dear, oh dear.
Great movie.
That is a superb movie.
Yeah.
How many times when you come out a movie you're singing "Springtime for Hitler"? You know what I mean? It basically is so absurd that you're just thinking that you can just
I'm
remember
singing on the
singing
way to
it.
work every day. What are you talking
I
about?
actually saw it. I saw it on Broadway.
Did you? Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't with the original cast. It was like right after the original cast. But you know what? The Broadway version was amazing. Now the Broadway version movie was horrible.
I went to see a film last night, and it was a special preview, and it hasn't been shown on Netflix yet, but it starred Andrew Garfield, and it was about the guy that actually created Rent. You know, the play, the
I heard
musical
about it.
Rent. And I didn't know it was a musical, and I was really bored because I don't like musicals. But after the film, I thought to myself, if they took all that music out and they just did a drama, it would have been so much better. Yeah, it would have been 10 minutes. That's true as well.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I like musicals as well. I mean, my favourite musical of all time is White Christmas. Basically, it's just
Really?
I like Danny Keaton. I grew up with it, watching it with my mum. So I watched it every year, every Christmas day.
All
It was
right.
good. I've seen it. I saw it a couple years ago. I finally sat down and watched it because I listened to music for years. I mean, yeah.
That Bing Crosby?
Bing Crosby,
Bing Crosby?
Danny Kaye, Debbie Allen.
Gene Autry in that?
No.
No.
Well, he might have actually been, but he's no main character in it. So
I don't really like musicals, but my favorite musical is the Blues Brothers.
Oh,
I
top
like the Blues
five,
Brothers.
dude.
I like the Grease the movie, but not the second one.
We got to go back.
Blues Brothers is
Yeah,
amazing.
We got to go back. Blues Brothers. You can't have a favorite movie of all time because it's just not possible. So I have a top five. In my top five is the extended version of the Blues Brothers.
Wow.
Wow. It was a style of music, the blues, that my band teacher hooked me up to when I was in high school, and it just something about that music and then that movie, the comedy, the joke, just everything. Illinois Nazis.
Yeah.
There's everything in that movie was just perfect.
See,
Absolutely.
I don't listen to music out with movies. I don't listen to music. I don't like music. However, Blues
Don't like
Brothers.
music?
No,
Blues-
I don't listen to music at all.
Blues Brothers is amazing. I think it's amazing. I mean, there's that joke in it where the whole place blows up and all the bricks are covered them, and they stand up. And so I think Dan Aykroyd says we're late, and they just walk off. After the whole place went down.
Carrie
And I
Fisher,
thought that was
Carrie Fisher
hilarious.
plays one of the Blues Brothers' love interest that he left
That's
at the
it, yeah.
altar, and she's hunting him the entire movie. And when you first meet her, the camera pans down the city to this little dive beauty shop, and in the neon in the window it says "Curl Up and Dye Beauty Salon." It's DYE for dyeing your hair.
Yeah.
So it's just every little thing in that movie had something really funny behind it. Elwood's hitting on the girl at the gas station, and then they cut.
That's
he talks about
Twiggy.
meeting her later. Yeah, Twiggy. He ends up, they leave her bye, and then like the big car chase, and then you see her standing at the pump waiting for him, like she accepted his proposal of hooking up at the hotel that night. Just little things.
But you know what, right? I watched that film 20 times when I was young because I loved it so much. I almost wore out the tape, right? And it's the little things that makes me laugh. It's like the penguin. When she comes through the door, she's floating, and that always makes me laugh for some reason. I cry
I've
with
never
laughter
more
when I see
scared
that.
of Catholics in my life. That was my first
Yeah.
experience. She's beating
Yeah.
that HE double hockey sticks out of these two with a yardstick. I'm like, I don't want to go there.
And what you call it? When she smacks what's his name in the head, and they run down the stairs, they
Well,
fall
that's when
down the
she breaks the
stairs.
stick over his head.
Yeah, that is so funny. I was hilarious. But you know what makes me laugh? The whole film was about them saving the orphanage, wasn't it? That's what it was all about, them saving the orphanage.
Without stealing.
Without stealing. Yeah, well, yeah. That is a very good film. Absolutely hilarious from start to finish.
And that
Even I've got that in my collection. But as I said, I don't normally like music, but I do like musicals and things like the Blues Brothers. I suppose it introduced me to music I would never have listened to because I don't. And that's the thing. I'll enjoy it while I'm watching the movie, but I won't have it on in my car or whatever. I just don't listen to music. It's weird.
But that what is it? Think. You got to think. That song with I can't remember the girl's name. What Aretha Franklin when they go into the bar. Yeah, I still remember all the words, but I can't remember it offhand. It's like, what is it? I'll have some dry toast. Yeah, dry toast and what is it? Whole chicken or whatever.
Fried chicken.
And some dry
Oh.
toast and some nonsense like that.
Yeah, he was
And
like
it
4
ju-
fried chickens and a Coke. And I
Coke,
had
that
dry
was
white
it.
toast.
Yeah.
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 I'll try white toast. Yeah.
Goes, it's
I
the
got-
Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers, they still owe you money, fool. He just goes out there.
Oh,
Very
shut
good.
up, woman. You'll never hear that again.
Yeah. Very good.
So,
What a
speaking
movie.
of that got me thinking of this.
What was that?
I remember the time back in the late 80s when a new movie cost almost $90
wow.
to buy on VHS.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh,
me too.
yeah. I remember
Yeah.
the first time we
Yes.
watched
Yeah.
the VHS. It was our rich neighbor up the hill, the Stoltes. Shout out to
Mm.
Ryan if he's still around in the world.
That's
It was Rambo First Blood, the first one.
Yeah.
It was first
Wow.
Blood, and,
That's why he had
while
this
watching-
I remember mines as well. My dad there was a new shop opened up next to where we used to go for sandwiches for work. He noticed it, a video shop. A video shop? What's that? He went out and bought a VHS recorder. And he basically, every night, he would come back with 3 tapes. 7
Wow.
nights a week. So we would just sit and watch movie after movie after movie. And it was great. I watched one I've never seen before and I'm still looking for, This Superman. It was a
Oh,
Turkish
yeah.
movie
Yeah.
Gotta
Which
love
is
it.
hilarious. where they think it's the suit. So they've got a guy, they steal the suits and the guy's standing like that and somebody fires a machine gun at him and he goes like that.
Yeah.
That's the joke. It's basically the suits are the things that are keeping these people alive. So they shoot somebody and he just stands there and eventually just tips over. Nope, it's not the suits, and that's how they tested it and stuff like that. But it was just one of those stupid Turkish movies, and it was absolutely amazing. I still remember
my dad decided to buy a video recorder, and he brought the Betamax rather than a VHS. So he brought the C7, and then he brought the first movie I saw on my video was Enter the Dragon. Cost him 78 quid to buy. And Enter the Dragon, it was in 4:3, and we just loved it. We must have worn that tape out.
Video, there was no widescreen until much later.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah.
I've got my video right in front of me, so I have got my video.
Is that a TriStar? PJ, is it a TriStar, mate?
It's a Sanyo.
Okay.
Sanyo. Asano.
Not a.
Do you remember the
Samsung,
TriStars?
Yeah.
With a top loader. Do you remember them? You used to press the switch and the top loader used to come up.
I remember my sister had the Betamax top loader.
Oh yeah, I had one. Yeah, we had the C5 and the C7.
Were you cool enough to have the race car rewinder that you would stick the tape in when you were done?
No.
And the race car would rewind the tape real fast.
Right. They used to have them in Blockbuster Video. They used to rewind them in Blockbuster Video. They used to have those little machines. Used to put in there. Yeah,
basically our video shop used to actually charge you 10p per video that you hadn't rewind.
Okay, I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna check out for 2.5 minutes. I'm gonna watch this Obi-Wan trailer, and I will report back.
Oh,
that's okay. We got about 15 minutes before I have to run.
I watched
All right.
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
I gotta say, I'm still not interested.
I'm not interested either, I must admit. It's just the way I look at it is I've not even watched the last 2 Star Wars movies. I've not watched any Star Wars since I saw the junk of the first sequel. Didn't like it.
Right.
Rouge 1.
Very well.
Didn't like either. But it's the same idea. I don't even like the prequels. There's only 3 movies for me, and that's the 3 movies I've got and the 3 movies I watch. I don't watch the prequels because I think they're as bad as the sequels.
Well, this trailer is as predictable and as manipulative as you would expect. All trailers are. Feels and looks just like one. There was a really good book on the EU. I know you're not supposed to reference that, called Kenobi many years ago. That was actually did a really good job of talking about those years when he went back to when he went to Tatooine and brought young Luke there, and that was good. They won't probably get near that. He looks good on the trailer. All the effects and everything look good and exciting and all that stuff, but they're gonna. No.
But Clobby, are you sure? Because according to Kathleen Kennedy, there was no stuff like that around.
There's no trailer.
No trailer.
It was like a 30-second featurette of him talking about how great it's to be back.
No, the trailer's here. The trailer's here.
Do you know? I saw one today. was the Orville season
Yeah.
3, and it basically
That's
just
it.
the
Right there,
thing,
mate.
they were just
Orville,
talking
yes.
about it. It was just wee bits and pieces. They were talking over it. There was no clips, nothing. It was just the bridge. And then there was the change colour, and you would hear one or two of them talking. I don't know why we can't have drinks out in the bridge, and then something else would happen. And it was just the voiceover. And I'm sitting there thinking, how's that
No,
make
I
it?
just I
I'm
put it in the
interested
private
anyway.
chat, Justin.
Yeah.
It's in the private chats right there.
it's on
That's the
YouTube.
trailer.
Because there's somebody has had a video out there where they've been trolling everybody with what kind of looks like a video, but it's not.
All right, so maybe this might
It's
not
the same
be.
idea. It's the Wheel of Time stuff. I know the trailers are bad. That's why I've not really watched them. I've seen them, but I've only done them once. I've not done a reaction to them because I know trailers can be just bad because they manipulate stuff.
That's a fan thing out there that everyone's looking at, I believe.
Oh, is
When I
it?
saw-
So it's not.
when I
It's
saw
not
it,
real.
looks like a fan thing. I don't know, but it says
Yeah.
it was. It's posted over a year ago.
When
You
I
see
went,
that?
I went on Disney Plus, and all it is a 30-second thing where they have Ewan McGregor saying, "Oh, it's great to be back and play Obi-Wan Kenobi, and maybe we'll see Anakin again," and blah 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 blah, and that's it. There's no
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You're
Okay.
a
Yeah,
big
it
bunch of
reminds me
liars.
of the Orville one. It's basically just a maybe with a voiceover, and it's
Or host
basically just to try and get you. But it's the
Hello
same.
there.
I heard the rumors that like the Wheel of Time, they've actually changed it. They've actually edited in a part which everybody knows is known the actual show, but accordingly they edited it in for the trailer for some reason. Because like Moiraine says, it is one of you, implying the 4 people, but in the trailer it says it's one of you 5. So, and people are saying that was never recorded, that was never filmed like that. It's like this. So why they actually put it into the trailer and edited it that way is weird.
It's easy to make a deceptive trailer because all trailers look the same.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they
And
basically
when
are.
there is
Just,
a real one, it'll look just like that fan was about, as far as looks and everything.
But why have they? I mean, so they including Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan thing.
He will make
But
an
what-
appearance. They have confirmed that. Yes.
But why? Because he actually hid, didn't he? After everything happened, he hid all those years.
I
So
think it's
that.
gonna be flashbacks.
Oh, okay.
I can't
Yeah,
imagine
probably
they would retcon the
flashbacks.
original Star Wars movie by having him meet Darth Vader after the fight.
Yeah, it'll be, or before the New Hope fight. Yeah, that probably won't. Probably flashbacks, but
It's good. It's not good, is it?
Past them either. But see,
Now, will we
also,
see
one-
Ahsoka? That's
Go
my
ahead.
question.
One thing that's evident as every day and every second goes by is these people that are in charge of these IPs do not know what they're doing.
Don't know what
that's
you're
true.
Absolutely
you know,
don't know what they're doing.
I think it is. Somebody's given them cliff notes, and that is when they think they're experts because of it.
We're just hiring people who don't know. Look at that High Republic comic when it came out. That issue had the main character sliding down his tree with a lightsaber and hanging midair from a lit lightsaber blade. And then when the writer was confirmed, when they talked to him and he's like, "I didn't know how it worked." I'm like, "Well, what are you doing working on the book?"
Yeah,
That's
Why
right.
you?
it's the same as. I'll say it again. The Wheel of Time, right? There's a part in it. You see the White Cloaks burning one of the Aes Sedai, right, at the stake, and somebody's read that in the book saying, "Oh, they call them the Tarvalin witches." So what do you do with witches? We'll burn them at the stake. But they're meant to have the power, the one power. They don't need to see or speak. So the blindfold and the mask would have meant zero difference, and she wouldn't have allowed herself to be burned at the stake. But for some reason, somebody read they call them the Tarvalin witches, so we'll have to have one burning at the stake. And that's in the trailer, and you're sitting there thinking, do these people actually know a single thing? They're setting you up this way, but they're actually doing you stupid stuff.
They never
It's
know.
obvious they don't.
Look at Eternals. Those idiots didn't know a damn thing.
Well, I've never read the
It's an awful
Eternals,
film.
but even I'm aware that didn't look like
I didn't know
anything.
anything either. So I don't go
It
see
was
the movie.
It's awful. I've seen it.
I
I've
just
seen
figured
it. It's
since I haven't
awful.
made an Eternal comics in 30 years. Why would I go see a movie about something
It's
they haven't
awful.
bothered with for 30 years?
Well, they
Yeah.
made other comics. Eternal comics. The only one that counts those Kirby's. Went back and did a deep dive review on that and loved it so much. That I'm like, wow, I should have read. I haven't read it in 40 years. It's even better now. Like a lot of things in the review mirror, even better when you get older.
The problem with the Eternals is they should never have got that director to direct it, and the script is absolutely awful. You really don't care about any of the characters. Too many characters, didn't make any sense, and that's the main problem with it. Can't say any more fairer than that.
See,
That's
I find that
absolute
with a
shit.
lot
That's
of
right.
modern stuff that hero or villain, no matter what, you're not meant to care. You're meant to actually go, so he died, big deal. No, I didn't care. I didn't care
Yeah,
enough
that's-
about the character if they died.
If you don't care about them, if you don't care about the character, you don't care about the movie. And there's no
Right.
greater acts to a movie and being a bomb is nobody cares. You know, it's why would I spend money on a movie I don't care about? You're not making me want to see this. I have no interest.
Absolutely right. And sometimes when you care about the characters, and even if it's a substandard movie or film, you get something out of it, even if it's a small thing, because you at least like the characters. And this one,
That's
they're
true.
terrible. They don't establish them very well at all. And of course, they're not heroic. They're boring. This is a boring.
All right.
dull film.
So basically, this is what puzzled me in the Eternals, right? So you got this guy. So they were made by the Celestials before time, and when they come to Earth at the dawn of Earth's time, one of them has an Irish accent. One of them can't speak. Right, one of them can't speak and has to do sign language.
Or here.
So and the other guy is do you know what I mean? So it doesn't make any
Does
sense.
Helen
It's
Keller
like-
an Eternal? Is that what I'm hearing?
They changed Makari from a male to a female who cannot
Female, yeah.
hear.
And she's deaf.
She's
So,
deaf.
so they've made Helen Keller an Eternal.
Pretty much.
Yes, I'm
And
saying
yes,
it makes no
These
sense.
synthesoids,
Back
and
to my
especially Ian, since they're constructs, they're actually, in a sense, replicants, robots, whatever you want to call them. They're programmable. So then that when you automatically go, why would someone like that have that handicap? Why would someone like that be? I can see making them look like the various races of Earth, but why would one of them be overweight for no reason?
Yeah, and why would one of them not be able to speak?
Why would there be any
It makes no
sexuality
sense.
one way or
Because
another?
the fatties need representation in the movie.
That's right. That's what it was done for. Why would any of them ever be gay or straight? Why would they have any sexuality whatsoever? That's not what they're there for. They're just there to advance human. They're there to advance the human race and to increase the population and protect them from the deviants who they totally ruined. It was really interesting characters.
And that's another thing, right? They're protecting the Earth from the deviants. So, heroes, vote for so the planet can be destroyed, so it's another could actually consume it. So you're effectively saying these heroes are just keeping you for somebody else to eat instead of them.
But
it was all
another
building up
thing
to the world's biggest abortion. Go ahead.
Yeah, another thing that I didn't understand is how could they not understand that people were going to question why they didn't intervene when Thanos was happening? You know, immediately when they had a pitch meeting about it,
somebody even had a better one.
Exactly, you present it. How comes nobody questioned that?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Find the tweet for this.
You would question that, wouldn't you?
Sleeping the whole
you
time
would.
in the comic, like in stasis.
They're only supposed to
should have
fight
been.
deviants as their excuse. And he is, of course, he is a deviant and he's an eternal, but that's neither here nor there because Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. Terrible movie, as far as I'm
When you've
concerned.
got a movie, it makes zero sense. One way or the
But
other,
just-
it basically.
It should have been Fantastic Four. It should have been the Fantastic Four.
Not
Yes.
with that direction.
You know,
Aye, well,
I
will
but
be
you
more than
look
happy
at yesterday's
to,
war or tomorrow's war, right?
yeah.
It was
That's
supposed
an
to be
entertaining
Inhumans.
movie if you don't think about it. But see, as soon as you actually put a slight bit of thought into it, it makes zero sense. And what's the point? But it's if you don't want to think about a movie, you can enjoy it. I understand that. But the Eternals, anybody I've heard saying, well, I just actually went for the visuals, and they're saying, but that was bad, this was bad, and that. Well, you didn't actually go and enjoy it, even though you didn't want to think about all the problem parts of it. So if you didn't enjoy it, even though you're not thinking about the plot holes, whatever, then what's the point? I can
It is
understand that
bad.
movie, it's just entertaining, makes zero sense. Chris Almighty, I grew up watching Morecambe and Wise Intelligence Men. So it didn't make sense. Carry On, Sergeant, didn't make sense. But they were fun, they were just for entertainment. I understand why Tomorrow War was popular because if you didn't think about it, it was entertaining. Good visuals.
That was the
You know
Chris
what I mean?
Pratt one I watched, right?
Yes, that's
Yes.
the one.
That
And
was
the,
great.
but if you sat and thought about it and thought you were getting into something, it made zero sense. So, but if you watched it just for visuals, entertainment, it's a good action movie. Even I could say that. But
Is this your
if
cast
you've got a
OnlyFans,
movie,
Chris?
even when you don't want to think about it, it still is crap. Sorry, Father. It's still is bad. It's still bad. Then what's the point of the movie?
I know.
One or the
I
other.
know.
Make it an intellectual one, or you make it a dumb one. But
PJ.
you can't have a dumb one, it's crap.
PJ, you've just said something that the Americans didn't understand. You spoke about the intelligence men. You spoke about Morecambe and Wise, and these people don't even know who Morecambe and Wise is, mate. They don't know.
Oh, Morecambe and Wise.
You guys don't know Morecambe and Wise, right? You guys.
We're done. American.
Okay. Well,
oh goodness, Morecambe and Wise is basically one of the greatest double acts out there.
Yeah.
Things, rants, jokes, the lot. YouTube it, Morecambe and Wise. Some of the big stars have been on. Peter Cushing, Boris Karloff. Oh God, I can't even think of. There's too many they've had.
Right, so
Vanessa
the guys.
Redgrave, everything.
Yeah, Morecambe and Wise was a double act, okay, right? Well, probably one of the greatest double acts in the entire world, and you guys don't know them, okay, right? So basically, what they did, they used to invite huge stars. They got so famous that huge stars used to go on their show, and they used to treat them like crap. They really used to treat them like crap, but that was the joke. Right,
Yeah,
so they'll like they had Elton John on once, right, and they didn't want him on, so he kept coming through the show halfway through, and they kept saying to him, "Go over there," and all the way through the show, he didn't get on. When the credits all rolled, he was there in the studio on his own, and then he sang, and then it ended. So that's how they treated their
That'd be
stars.
one of
What's the
the
last
Andre
name?
Previn. Andre Previn, you remember that one?
Andre Previn was an amazing
Basically,
sketch.
He's
And
basically
what is-
he's playing the piano, and he basically Andre Previn goes like that, and he's
And
nothing.
what was the last name of him?
Morecambe and Wise.
Morecambe and
Eric,
Wise,
Spell that.
Eric Morecambe and
Ernie Wise.
Ernie Wise. Couldn't even remember that. Get out of
Yeah.
that. But it's basically
Could you put that in the private chat because I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to spell that.
So Justin and Clobbering Time. This is how big they were, right? One Christmas special, 22 million people watched their Christmas special. 22 million. Could you imagine? And that's only when we had 3 channels in the UK.
My goodness.
22 million people watched their Christmas special. That's how big they were.
Okay, hold
Come
on.
there.
Movie collections. Wow.
Stop it.
they had 3
I had a lot of
movies.
sugar
They
today,
did
so
3
I
movies.
apologize in
So, they
advance.
did. So that's
Wow.
Ernie Wise, and that's Eric Morecambe.
Nice.
2 childhood friends
Okay.
that became one of the most famous double acts in the world, I'd say, but the Americans don't know them. But
Yeah,
You've
they were
done-
being broadcast
I
here.
will
there's
check
nothing
it
we can do
out.
about it.
You've
My
got
goodness.
you've got even people nowadays use them as a thing. You've heard Ant
Yeah.
and Dec, Ant McFarlane, Declan Donnelly, Ant and Dec.
they don't know who they are, PJ.
They have done some stuff. They have done some stuff as
Speak
well in the
English.
States, but they're heroes. But they did 3 James Bond type movies.
They did, yeah. They were so famous. They did 3 movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did. So it's like a variety show. So they sing and they
sounds
tell
like
jokes
that.
and they have
A lot of those
and
shows
they
here,
did
too.
this. They did this sketch called "Singing in the Rain," which was absolutely
God.
hilarious, and it had no rain in the scene at all. It was very funny. But
They only, even though they
that-
had no rain,
Yeah.
Eric Morecambe kept getting.
Eric Morecambe, yeah.
So I actually got to say, I got to start wrapping up because I have to get ready for my obligation.
Okie dokie.
So I'm going to stream again tomorrow morning because I was talking to Lady Gravemaster and Miss Martin because we didn't do the first Saturday stream last week because we had confirmation with the bishop. So we're going to do that tomorrow at 10 o'clock Central if Justin and Ian are up for it. I would invite the
time is
others.
that?
This is 10
What
o'clock
time is that
Central.
real time?
Early
What time is that
morning.
UK time?
Oh,
I would
yeah,
invite the others, but this is a Catholic stream.
I'm working. I can't make it.
Not Father.
Okay.
Although I'm an atheist, I still actually find it interesting. My father-in-law's a minister.
Nope. Don't look at that.
My father-in-law's a
Clobbering
minister.
Time. Have you got Dan on your channel soon? Clobbering Time.
As a matter of fact, for Wednesday for the Global Geek Gang, I'm doing a special Doctor Who roundtable to celebrate the anniversary about
Cool.
positive Doctor Who we love. You are
Yeah,
welcome.
you keep stealing all my blades.
Thank you, sir. I shall
I'm
come
available
on
to
if you
color
allow me.
commentary any
You
show if you
invited.
ever want me on. I can-
You're
I
invited.
have
Thank you.
nothing else going on in my life.
What did you say, PJ?
Have you not, Justin?
You're there.
Poor fella.
And Justin, dude, you want to come talk comics one night with me, brother? I wish you would.
Yeah, when do you do your show?
Well, on Monday nights, are you on the Twit-Twack Party Chins or no?
I don't know. You mean Twitter?
He's not on Twitter.
No, I don't subject myself to bullying.
Oh.
So
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't have that in
I
school.
wouldn't bully you. I'd be nice.
yeah, I'm on there, but I haven't opened up the Twitter app in
Oh.
probably 16 months.
Well, if you look at my channel or whatever, there's my email on there. If we can find somebody to cook up, you come on. I'm on Monday nights. Monday night, Mark C. Comic Talks.
Okay.
Comics Talk. I'd love to
Throw,
talk comics with you,
throw
brother.
something in the private chat and I'll write it down.
We'll do it on that's my comics night. So
Yeah, I'd love to weigh in.
Father, you
I
looking
keep
forward to
getting here too late
Christmas?
to talk comics. You guys are on to Doctor Who by the time I get here.
oh yeah, I got you.
Father, you looking
yeah.
forward to Christmas, mate? Yeah.
I gotta get through Advent first. But with that, I gotta wrap up. I'm gonna hit the end button. Thank you, everybody,
right.
for watching and joining. And until then.